My dear brothers and sisters, the subject is Jesus God can very easily be solved by asking a counter question. Did Jesus claim to be God? Did he say I am God? Did he say worship me? And believe me, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, there is not a single unequivocal statement in any of the 66 books of the Bible or the 73 of the Roman Catholics where Jesus says I am God or where he says worship me. There isn't. I would have been very happy to hear from the lips of Jesus, this simple, straightforward, explicit statement, I am God or worship me. Because I as a Muslim, and we Muslims as a whole, we believe that Jesus Christ was one of the mightiest messengers of God. We believe in his miraculous birth. We believe that he was the Messiah. And we believe that he gave life to the dead by God's permission, and he healed those born blind and the lepers by God's permission. This is really the only point of real difference between the Muslim and the Christian, is the divinity of Christ. And for that, I say that our brother has not adduced a single statement from the lips of Jesus saying, I am God or worship me. While he walked this earth, he never made such a statement.
The statement in the complete Bible where Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, says, I am God, or when he says, worship me. In fact, if you read the Bible, it is mentioned in the Gospel of John, chapter number 14, verse number 28, he said, my Father is greater than I. Gospel of John, chapter number 10, verse number 29, my Father is greater than all. Gospel of Matthew, chapter number 12, verse number 28, I cast out devils with the Spirit of God. Gospel of Luke, chapter number 11, verse number 20, I with the finger of God cast out devil. Gospel of John, chapter number 5, verse number 30, I can of my own self do nothing.
People, in my meetings all over the world, when I have a chance, I said, brothers, sisters, I would like you to do me a favor. If Jesus is God, I would like you to show me one verse, only one statement, anywhere in your Bible, any version of the Bible where Jesus says, I am God, or where he says, worship me. And by God, even tonight, if Pastor Stanley can open his Bible and tell me, say, come on, read, I'm prepared to put my neck on the guillotine. Chop it off as you like, but produce the authority of Jesus. That Jesus said, I am God. Jesus said, worship me. What does he say? Jesus says, my Father is greater than I. I'm quoting him. My Father is greater than I. He says again, my Father is greater than all. He says again, I can of my own self do nothing. I'm quoting, sir. What you have been quoting was Hebrews and so on and so on. I said, what? Philippians and who else? I said, who is this? Philippians, Galatians, Corinthians, Thessalonians. Who is that? Who is it? Jesus? No, it's Paul. I want to know what my master Jesus says. I love him. I respect him. I revere him. I want to follow him. But I want to know what he said. Give me his words. Not what somebody else, what he thinks, or what it ought to have meant, or what it was implied. Religion, salvation, of my salvation does not depend upon people's interpretations, yours or mine, or anybody's. I want to know, what did the Master say? He said, the words ye hear are not mine, but the Father that sent me, he had given me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. Even as the Father had said unto me, so I speak. So what he spoke was the truth, Jesus. What he said is the truth. Maybe you understand things differently, but I'm prepared to abide by that. I'm prepared to put my neck on the guillotine. Chop it off as you like, but produce the authority of Jesus. That Jesus said, I am God. Jesus said, worship me.
Christians ask, why do Jews find the idea of the Trinity so problematic when Jews themselves view God as having various attributes, and the Torah itself has different names to reflect these different attributes? So why are Jews so vehement in their rejection of the Trinity? And the answer is the Trinity is not presented as a description of God's actions, but rather the Trinity is presented as a description of God's essence. It's presented as an effort to explain to us who we are to worship. In Judaism, we are to worship one God. All of the attributes that are attributed to God are just to help us understand God's interaction with His creations. Another point that is important to realize over here is that the concept of the Trinity only came up after Christians already accepted the deity of Jesus. It was an effort, a philosophical effort, to justify something they believed already, an absurdity they believed already. To believe a man is God, they had to come up with an idea of the Trinity. It wasn't that they first came up with the idea of the Trinity and then they said, oh, Jesus is the one that fits into the Trinity. Before Jesus came to the world, no one thought of the Trinity. So the Trinity is an excuse for idolatry.